these miniature peelers. Hey, hold it comfortably. You're not going to be able to hold it like that.
The meeting can begin.
All right, welcome to tonight's special meeting. And this meeting is going to take place via video conference. And clerk, can you please call roll?
Counselor Noon,
Here.
Counselor Galanese,
Here.
Counselor Burrell,
Here.
Counselor Peeler,
Here.
Counselor Regan,
Here.
Counselor Camera,
Here.
Counselor Salamandra,
Here.
Counselor Pruitt,
Here.
Mayor Valentino.
All right, and I'd like us to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic and one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Let's see here. We're going to, I'm sorry, I called roll before I called order, and apologize for that. And I am now going to leave it in the hands of our city manager to bring us to this resolution that's going to be presented tonight.
Great, thank you. So before us is one agenda item regarding the opioid litigation. And so before you is a resolution coming for settlement with two of the defendants, Johnson & Johnson, and a group of distributors. And so you'll see before you the resolution has a date of acceptance that is upon us this week. And the settlement is to pay out over 10 years and 18 years. And you'll see here, this is the proposed settlement for the city of Geneva. The first one on top is for the distributors, and they would be paid over 18 years. The J&J one would be a payments over 10 years. And so you're looking at $116,000 from these two defendants. There are a number of defendants, and this settlement is just for two groups here. And so tonight before you is the resolution to agree to this settlement and to authorize myself to sign it with our city attorneys. So if you have any questions, once we have a motion in a second, we have our attorney team here that could answer anything. And I'll turn it back over to you, Deputy Mayor Peeler.
Thank you. Let's see, would anyone like to make a motion to put this on the floor? John will make the motion, and Frank, no, I'm sorry, Ken was the second. Discussion. And anyone who would like to speak, let me know. Just kind of give me a motion on the screen. I'm doing my best to look at the Brady Bunch pictures here. We're going to do Tom and then Ken, please.
I just have one question and then one comment. How do we achieve the bonus at the end of the 10th payment? I see there's a bonus that's itemized.
Can you show us that again so that we can look at it?
I will show while John Turindola is giving you a response.
Let me address that, because the amounts that are shown in the settlement agreement, those include the bonus. The bonus is a product of all of the litigating subdivisions in the state of New York having agreed to the settlement. And as a result of that, there were several different levels of payment schedules that could be made. As of this moment, all but three litigating subdivisions, and Geneva was one of them, have agreed to the settlement. We expect that they will agree, the other two or three will agree by tomorrow. which is just before the date that was required under that agreement with the distributors, so that we will have everyone in the state, all of the litigating subdivisions and all other subdivisions will have agreed to the settlement, and that the settlement can then achieve the highest bonus payment schedule, which is the one that we have provided to you. In case, and I don't know how closely you followed this, but last spring and actually into last summer, the legislature passed a law that said that any subdivision or any municipality that hasn't brought suit had no rights to say that they did not want to be included in any state settlement with the opioid companies. So anybody that didn't bring suit didn't have any rights under the agreement. We brought suit on behalf of the city of Geneva, and because we did that, the city of Geneva is entitled to is to get not only the maximum bonus amount, but your amounts are guaranteed to be paid. Those municipalities that did not join in the lawsuit as a litigating entity, their amounts are not guaranteed, but your amounts are guaranteed. They're supposed to be used for abatement purposes, i.e. a new police car, training purposes, a new ambulance, Narcan, things of that nature, whatever you need to use them for over the course of the years. But the thing about the amounts that come to you is they are guaranteed. So if for any reason you should be denied any amount up to that, those numbers that you've seen, they're guaranteed to you. And all you got to do is give us a call, and we will remind the state that they are guaranteed numbers, and that you are entitled to those. In addition to that, and one thing I want to point out is that the attorney's fees, and you all will remember that you signed a retainer agreement with us and two other law firms. That retainer agreement, we are waiving any collection rights against the city of Geneva under that retainer agreement for this settlement. In doing that, the state has agreed to pay us our legal fees up to 15%. So we will be getting our legal fees from the state of New York and not from the city of Geneva, so that your money that you will receive will go to you guaranteed for abatement purposes, starting in this year. As you know, there is another lawsuit that is pending in federal court. It is the federal MDL. That continues to go on. New York, as well as the city of Geneva and a number of other municipalities, are party to that. With the settlement in New York, once you sign off and two other entities sign off, the New York settlement will be a done deal with the distributors, which is a good thing, because a couple of the cases that were tried and have been tried have not gone well for the municipalities. You will remember that Oklahoma got a $523 million verdict against Johnson & Johnson. The appellate court set that aside and sent it back to the court, saying that they couldn't hold that much against Johnson & Johnson. And then California, municipality in California tried their cases in front of the district court out there, and they lost as well. So the cases most recently have not gone well. This settlement is a product of what has been a trial that started last summer in Suffolk County in New York City. The trial is actually continuing against a number of other defendants, but the defendants that we have here for this settlement are the ones that have settled thus far. We have Endo Pharmaceuticals, Teva, and a number of other defendants, not only in New York, but we also have in the MDL a lot of retailers, et cetera. And we also have in bankruptcy court, as you may know, Purdue in Mallinckrodt, Purdue being a manufacturer of the main opioid that's responsible for a lot of what has happened, and Mallinckrodt being one of the distributors that elected to go to bankruptcy route instead of try to resolve the cases. So I don't know if that answers your question. It's kind of a long answer to your question, but I wanted to lay it out so you got a better picture of really what is going on here.
I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. The state doesn't require the municipality to earmark this money for specific uses, does it?
In the sharing agreement, which has been sent up, there is a requirement for use for abatement purposes. That's really broad. And when I say broad, again, like I said, you could use it for police cars, ambulances, buildings if you need to. There is a whole host of things you can use it for. And under our agreement with the state, because we were litigating subdivision, you will get the full amount, whether you actually use it for abatement purposes or not. That was the agreement of the Attorney General, and we've got a written agreement from them to that effect. So they are on board with that. So the way it works is that under the legislation that happened last summer, any municipality with less than 90,000 people, okay, any municipality with less than 90,000 people did not have a right to actually participate in the litigation or in the negotiations. So there is money that is earmarked generally for abatement purposes. It's under a certain fund that's being held by the state. So all other municipalities that had not joined in the litigation are not guaranteed those monies unless they're approved by the state. The city of Geneva is guaranteed those monies, and the approval by the state should be very easy. And if it's not easy, let us know and we'll make it easy, because that's a guaranteed amount every year. So for 18 years, you'll be getting money from the distributors, and for 10 years, you'll be getting money from J&J. There's other cases that, and a lot of other cases that are yet to be completed. But like I said this week, as we were looking at this document, somebody asked me, is that the end of the opioid litigation? I said, no, it's the end of the beginning. It's the beginning. So we're just in the beginning phases here.
Thank you, John.
I do want to bring up one other issue because I think it's important. There are disbursements and costs. The state is not covering them, but we, if in fact the federal MDL ends up with a settlement, we can collect those from the federal FDL or MDL. So we won't be looking to the city of Geneva for those either. So I just wanted to be clear on that, so you got a picture of the whole thing.
Ken?
And the only thing I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did that answer your question, Tom? Are you good?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, Ken, if you have a question or something to discuss, please.
Yeah, just as a Sage, again, could you put the thing back up there? I'd like to ask, we don't have to see each other's faces. We can talk about the document, I think. Okay, so let me understand something. So, okay, so the 18-year deal, that's the payment to the distributors, and the 10-year deal is the payment to J&J. So if we were just going to look at the first 10 years of the payments, let's say in the 10th year, the city's going to get $1,000 from J&J and $6,000 roughly from the distributors, and that's it, right? So we add 6,000 and 1,000, we got maybe almost 8,000 with the, well, no, $7,000, right? Is that correct?
From these defendants, right?
Okay, so the thing is, I just want to go back up now. because I've seen in the papers and things like that, there's like, I don't know, this thing added up to 26 billion nationally, and New York State got 263,000 or 263 million. And so this is our cut of that New York State piece, correct?
This is the New York settlement. That's the national settlement, what you're talking about. That
There
hasn't
was
been.
one- There was one statement about the 263 million is New York State's cut. And then,
Right. I
so
think it
our
was
6,000
223,
reflects how small of an impact it had on us, but our police and whatever local, medical people had to chase people around, and this is where the rubber meets the road. It had this opioid problem in our community impacted our public safety people in the situation here, and the compensation is $6,000 roughly to pay off this. So I guess maybe the impact is really total is $116,000, but we're going to get it $6,000 at a time for the first 10 years, and then $1,000 after that, right? Until the
there's-
entire amount's paid off.
This is just for the four defendants that are settling these two cases, the named distributors and J&J. We also have two cases in bankruptcy, Purdue and Mellencroft. We also have about 7 other cases pending against a number of other retailers and other distributors of opioids. So, we're not done yet. This is, like I
Okay.
said, this is the end of the beginning. This
End of the
isn't-
beginning. Okay, I understand. I just wanted to sort of put some numbers in my head so that I could walk around and tell them back to myself. Because I've seen some of the press releases, and I saw the name McKesson and those people in the first 4 and that kind of thing. So I understand. I appreciate it. And you said, what are the only fees that you might have to, if the state doesn't come to the rescue, you would come to us for? What are those?
None. No, we're
What's
not
that?
looking to you for anything. No, I don't think we're looking to you for anything. The state has guaranteed us, much like they guaranteed you, that our attorney's fees are going to be paid by them. We've agreed to reduce our fees to 15%. They've agreed to pay those as part of the settlement package, so that there's no deduction from your money that is going to be all going to the city and all being used for abatement. We
Right,
do
but it
have
came out of the
costs.
total- But didn't it come out of the total New York State settlement?
Yes,
Your
it
fees?
did.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
it
so
did.
that has an impact on what each municipality gets.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
for walking around numbers, I could just say, we had to pay the attorneys 15%. They got 15% of the share that the city got. That's
We got
not
an
a-
amount equal to 15% of what the city got. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay,
One thing I do want to mention, though, is that there are 3 categories of monies that the state will have when this is all done, and it's in the sharing agreement.
okay,
And if the city, for whatever reason, needs more monies than what they get on any given year, they can make an application to the state, and we'd be happy to help you make it. You can make an application to the state out of their discretionary monies to get you extra money for anything that you might need it for. I wanted to let you know that as well. This is the money that's guaranteed you. There's no guarantees you could get any more than this, but this is the money you're guaranteed to get. And if, for example, you do need a new cruiser because the opioids have gotten out of control, or you do need $25,000 worth of Narcan and new EMTs, you can make an application to the state, because they will have monies available for certain purposes as outlined in this sharing agreement. And that will be, there's a group of political appointees for that will make decisions whether any municipality would be entitled to more money or not.
okay. So when you say more, it's not an acceleration of our payments, it's additional monies over the 116.
Right,
Okay, thank you.
right.
Great. John, I think you're next. I saw you raising your hand.
Yeah, I was actually just going to thank John and his company for being so gracious to have obviated the 15% and also to have lowered that amount. It's not uncommon to see 30 to 50% of a settlement going to council. And here in this case, it's been very generous of you. So thank you for your kind representation. That was
Well,
really sort of in line with what Ken was, I think, just talking about.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a long discussion with the state about all that, and that seemed to be the fair thing to do under the circumstances.
It's generous of you. Thank you.
All right. If,
Anybody else got any questions?
yeah, I think that's going to wrap up discussion. You know, I was looking at the schedule and I'm wondering a little bit about the background of the payment schedule as opposed to a lump sum. Was there not the New York Lotto option where we could take a lump sum as opposed to 26 payments?
Lump sum to the amount of money that they were talking about was not something that the companies could do. Because, yeah, they're going to be this settlement package or something very similar to this is going to be nationwide. And like you heard, $26 billion is going to be being paid over the course of time. And for all of the states are pretty much going to get a pro rata share of that money based on population and opioid abuse. So that is something that has not yet been completed. That settlement has not yet been completed. There's a number of lawsuits that have gone on about that. We believe that is going to be completed. As you know, you got till January 2nd to opt into that. We, of course, would recommend you opt into that as well, because for a number of different reasons. I think we'll see how that all ends up at the end of the day. But one thing for certain is that the New York case is settled. So this money is going to be available. This is going to be real money. It's guaranteed money to you, and it is settled, assuming you folks agree to it and give Sage and I the authority to enter into the agreement. We will get this done, and you'll have the money, and that's at least something that you'll have for certain going forward. And then we'll see what happens with the rest of it, because we still got to get through bankruptcy for a couple of the defendants, and still got to go through a lot of legal machinations to get a lot more money here. So we're not done yet.
Adam, did you have your hand raised?
Just cleaning my screen. All set.
Ken?
Just one last, so, and these payments typically will be at the beginning or the middle or the end of the year?
We're hoping they start as soon as possible. You'll have to make application to them. There'll be instructions coming out of the state on exactly how to do it. But you'll have to make application each year, showing what the proposed uses are going to be and showing the amount. And then these, like I said, these amounts are guaranteed, so you'll be getting them that way.
Thank you for your explanations. I was appreciated. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting us do this for you.
All right, if that's going to wrap up discussion and questions, I think everyone got a fair chance to discuss or ask questions or offer their opinions. Let's move this. Let's move this to a vote. Clerk, can you please call to roll?
Counselor Pruitt,
Aye.
Counselor Noon,
Aye.
Counselor Galanese,
Aye.
Counselor Burrell,
Aye.
Counselor Peeler,
Aye.
Counselor Regan,
Aye.
Counselor Camera,
Aye.
Counselor Salamandra,
Aye.
motion carried.
Wonderful. Unless there's anything pressing, how about a motion to adjourn? Frank makes the motion and John seconds it. Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Thank you. Thanks to all involved, and have a wonderful evening.